Right. So the video on overheating I dropped, there are a lot of you out there who think that this whole thing is a conspiracy theory. It's not. I'm basically putting a camera next to another camera next to another camera, pressing record on the same settings and letting things happen. I have learned some information which I'm going to read about whilst I'm recording the 5.3K 25 frames video with the screens off this time on the Hero 12, Hero 11, and the DJI Action 4, but that'll be in 4K because it doesn't have 5.3K. And we're going to see exactly what these cameras can do. Now, the information that I have learned is something to do with the standard and high temperatures. I've got to read about it a little bit more, but let's just start this test because these are time consuming. They take a lot of time. Let's see what happens. These are the tests. In the meantime, I was filming a bit of B-roll for 2-3 upcoming videos, but I started reading about the standard and high temperatures that these cameras are allowed to work at, to film at. The problem here is that the DJI Action 4 has EU regulations it has to stick to. So if you remember before, on the Action 2, you had standard and high. Standard, I think, is 48 degrees centigrade and high is 53 degrees centigrade. I'm not sure if this applies to the Action 4, as there is no option for it at all. But what I've been told is that they still have to stick by the EU regulations. So in Europe, it can't heat up to a certain level. This is no doubt what is causing the DJI Action 4, in my situation, my circumstances in Europe, because I have an EU version, to overheat first. Funnily enough, it wasn't the first to overheat, but it wasn't the last to finish. I'm guessing everybody in America has an Action 4 that has a temperature that it's allowed to get to, which is much higher. That's a bummer for us in Europe because it means that the GoPro Hero 12 wins every single time. Even in the videos I showed yesterday. 41 minutes, Hero 12. Followed closely, 43 minutes, Action 4. Today it's about 20 degrees centigrade Celsius in Łódź, Poland. And I did have the windows open, so I'm having a nice breeze coming through the studio. They're not super friendly conditions, but you get the idea. It seems that the GoPro Hero 12 has a higher temperature it can get to before it turns off. I'm not sure if that's within EU regulations. I have no idea. There is no information about it. But as you can see, it's still recording. Now, if you're in Europe and you want it to record for longer times, it looks like the Hero 12 is going to outlast the Hero 11 and the Action 4. This is basically it. There's nothing else more to it. I'm not doing any more of these because there's no point. So it's fair to say this camera is extremely hot. It is uncomfortable to touch. I'm not going to film any more of the overheating tests for a simple reason. I've been reading a bit and I did get a couple of emails. The camera is an EU version. So that's probably why the DJI Action 4 is overheating faster than the GoPros, because it is on a lower threshold. I can't set it to a high threshold. There isn't even an option in the menu like there was with the Action 2. It was grayed out though. So I can't set the Action 4 on a high threshold for the auto stop recording. So that's probably what's happening with the results. The Hero 12, on the other hand, seems to either have a higher threshold or handle the heat better. at least the EU version, unless it's a worldwide version. I have no idea. If you guys know, do drop a comment down below and we can discuss this further. I think it's interesting, but the European Union does have strict regulations for this kind of stuff. Oh well, back to making normal videos.